Hello, hi. This is Valerie with Valerie Turner Tarot. Hi, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited that you're here. We have so many things to talk about today. Thank you so much for joining me. Before I begin, I always try to start with something very positive. You've taken time to join my reading. I want to share with you my deep interest in the idea of kindness. Please take with you today, if anything, the importance and the strength of the word kindness. Kindness is so important, and I've talked about how it's sometimes difficult to accurately define, but take time today, tomorrow, the next day to genuinely reach out to someone and express an act of kindness. Just remind yourself how the very best part of you can be given to someone else, and that's something that's truly amazing. Okay, so let's get into the reading. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about our Divine Masculine, and we're going to pull some tarot cards, and let's shuffle. I'm going to pull several tarot cards for some different questions. So the first question that we have is, what does your Divine Masculine hope for in this connection? So you have a connection with someone, and sometimes it can be difficult to exactly know what the other person is going through, their issues that they have, all of their heartaches that they've been through. So we're going to try to get some information today. So this is going to be the hope for this connection through the eyes of the Divine Masculine. I'm going to pull another one while I have them here. This is going to be connected to the universe. And I'm going to pull a last one, and this is going to be connected to what has to be overcome in order for you two to come back into alignment. Okay, so to pair up here with the tarot cards, let's go to a soul card. This is going to go back to what your Divine Masculine hopes for in this connection. I hope we have some Divine Masculines attending the reading today. Honestly, it seems like lately I've really been channeling the Divine Masculine side and what they're going through, the challenges that they have. Now, I'm not saying that those challenges are more important or more challenging than what the Divine Feminine is going through. And I'm not taking a side, but it just seems like lately I have really been feeling the energy of the Divine Masculine. This is going to be connected for the Divine Masculine's hope for this connection. And that is a soul card. We're going to go to a life card. This is going to be connected with the universe. How is the universe involved? How is the universe involved in bringing you two guys back into alignment? Okay, what needs to be overcome here in order for you guys to come back together? These are self-created cards of my own. I'm going to pull two. Pull these two. And lastly, we have this big empty spot right here. This is for, I almost believe, that the very, it's like the dessert of the reading. It's the very best part of the reading because you really get more of a personal touch. All of the reading is personal, but the cards that tell exactly what the Divine Masculine is thinking in his heart space is truly spiritual, really, in my opinion. So what are the best parts of you? When he sits quietly, card number 1. And card number 2, he sits quietly. He's thinking of you. He's thinking of, reflecting on the relationship and everything you guys have been through. What is he specifically thinking when it comes to your all's connection? Pull one card here and one card here. Also, just for fun, I don't always do this, I'm going to pull a couple of charms, okay? Closing my eyes, and I'm actually just going to pull 2, okay? So I'm going to put them here. We'll talk about them here in just a moment. Okay, so let's jump right on in here. What is your Divine Masculine's hope for this connection? What is your Divine Masculine's hope for this connection? We have the High Priestess reversed, and we have grounding. Let's begin with the High Priestess reversed. His gut has always been giving him messages about this relationship. And he's just confused because the messages have always kind of been all over the place. But the real message that he's always had is this fear. And he has not been able to determine if the fear that's been in his gut has been the fear of maybe you're not the right person, or the fear you are the right person. But he's apprehensive about moving forward. He hasn't been able to correctly identify which way it is. Are you not right for me? Or are you so right for me, I'm scared to death? And that's his hope. That's what he's trying to figure out in this connection. I mean, he sees all the valuable things in you. Don't get me wrong. But he doesn't know how to sort out his own thoughts. He doesn't like the idea that he's relied on your validation. He does not appreciate that about himself. He wants to rely on no validation from anyone. So those are the big triggers I see for him currently in this connection, with him trying to move forward. Grounding. Boy, this is a really powerful card. He wants this relationship to just be real. And he's having a hard time defining what real is. The day-to-day worries and the busyness of your all schedule and just the connection in general, it really brought on unneeded stress to the relationship. And he's reflecting back on that, and the stresses that he had and the stresses that you had were really just not important. He's trying to stop the what ifs. And really the most important thing about the grounding card is he is so hoping that the both of you can just both wake up to the idea that this relationship is important. He knows this relationship is so vitally important. But all these what ifs and all these missed messages of fear, and he doesn't know which direction that fear is going, has made it complicated. So sorting all that out is what your Divine Masculine's hope is for this connection. How will the universe work its magic to connect you two together? Okay, I have the Death card, and I have Wild Woman. How will the universe work its magic to connect you two together? the Death card. So there has been deep change in this relationship. I have a feeling you've not had any contact with this person for months. Long time. Could even be like a year. It's been a very long time. There was a huge transformation. All of a sudden, it tore your life apart, and you and him went your own separate directions. I'm reading this card in two ways, actually. I'm seeing that the universe is kind of giving the reader or the person here listening to the reading a choice. The universe wants you to know this can kind of go either way. One way is the idea of seeing each other in a new identity. Getting rid of bad people in your life that kind of cause toxicity on this relationship, getting rid of them and seeing how each other in a new identity. Him seeing you in a new identity and you seeing him with a new set of eyes. Instead of completely like always searching for new landscape out there. Letting go of the new landscape and looking at each other with a new set of eyes and seeing the importance within one another for each other. That's one scenario. But the universe also wants you to keep in mind to be brave. And there is the idea of free will. And deep thought on the person listening to this reading needs to be aware that the contemplation of the idea of maybe going your own way might not be a bad idea. If you feel that deep inside, you have that free will. And if that free will is telling you to turn around and walk the other direction, the universe is saying they support that as well. So this is going in two directions for me. Wild woman. You are the leader of your own life and you've been through a lot. You say what you want, you speak your mind, and you call people out. And if that isn't you, that's what the universe is telling you to get to. They want you to feel comfortable being that person because deep down inside, the universe absolutely feels that you are that person. You just don't know how to get there. And I think you're partially there, but you're not all the way there. The universe is trying to tell you to fight for yourself. Okay? Fight for you. Continue to love hard. Love a lot. Continually be the person that you want to be. Wild and free and not meek. Deep down inside, you know there's a strength within you. And the universe is saying, find it. It's in there. Feel confident that you are that person. Put up with nothing. Lead your life in a strong way. Just remember that the right man will love all the things about you that the wrong man was intimidated by. Okay? The right man will love you and all those things that other men were intimidated by. Okay, so what has to be overcome in order for you to come back into alignment? The King of Pentacles, and then my two messages cards from my self-created deck. So let's talk about the King of Pentacles. So right now, the question was, what has to be overcome in order for you two to come back into alignment? The King of Pentacles. So right now, I'm generating messages from the Divine Masculine side. Okay, I'm feeling the Divine Masculine coming through right now to answer that question. What has to be overcome in order for you two to come back into alignment? What has to be overcome is this Divine Masculine has to be more acceptant of the rough edges that you have. You have some rough edges, and they have to sort out and figure out that this fear of your rough edges is only a strength. That only indicates that you are a deep, beautiful, mysterious, complicated, desirable person. Much more than the person who hasn't been through very much. You've been through so much. They have to accept your rough edges. They have to become more generous. This person has not been as generous as they should have been with their emotions, with their time. I'm completely seeing this come through on the divine masculine side. These are things that have to be overcome in order for you guys to come back together. He also has to become more in touch with his body, mind, and spirit. And I think that's a trait that you have. It's a trait that you have, but he has not fully come to that place in his life. And he's not fully understanding what exactly that means. Okay, the messages that go along with what has to be overcome in order for you two to come back into alignment. You know, he's saying that he can be obscure, and he doesn't like many people knowing what moves him. So I get that connected with the more in touch as he came through. I need to be more in touch with my body, mind, and spirit. That is something he's going to have to overcome. I don't like people knowing what moves me. And he sees that you're someone who allows everyone to know what moves you. And he loves that about you. He loves that deep inside. But he doesn't know exactly if that's a fear or if it's a disadvantage or an advantage. I mean, he desires it, but he doesn't know if he wants to act on it, if that makes sense. And as the universe said, you can't wait around forever. You know, you can't just be sitting around. You are this leader of your own life. You know, you've been through so much, and you're a fighter, and you love your life. You're full of happiness. And these inconsistencies with him doesn't mean you're going to be waiting around forever for him. The other message from him on what, has to be overcome by him for you two to come back into alignment is comparisons. When I feel a deep, passionate trait in another person, I can't seem to allow anyone else to surpass it. So he also has other ideas of what a perfect woman should be, and he's having a hard time understanding that the perfect woman can be wild, can be free, can be mesmerizing. This person that's deep down inside of you that is actually the most beautiful version of a woman, a strong woman, a person who calls people out, who loves with everything in them, who's emotional, who just says whatever they want to say. He's having a difficult time realizing that that is really the best kind of person to connect with. Someone who is just free and can live life to the very fullest. And he has to understand that in order for you guys to come back into alignment, because you are not changing. You know who you are deep down inside. You are not changing for anyone, nor should you. Okay, so last we have the divine masculine thought process here. So, when he is sitting alone and he's thinking about the relationship, let's talk first before the messages. Let's talk about the best part of these memories that he has with the connection with you, and the best parts of you that hits him in his moments of silence. that make him take this breath, that he remembers and he recalls all of the valuable things in you. But the things that really hit him the most are here. Okay, let's start with bowstring tension. Okay, this is a beautiful card because he finds that you are the only person that can take away this deepest part of his stressful life. He feels at most ease with you. Out of everyone that he's been with, you make him breathe in a sigh of relief. And you have to think of it as a bow. You pull the bow back and you pull, 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 and he has all of these things going on in his head. These fears, these messages of fears, and he relies on validation, and he wants a relationship that he wants it to just be upon these standards. It's maybe even hard for anyone to succeed at. And that tension and tension pulls back. And he sees that as the release. It's a gentle release. It's like falling into your arms. That's what I'm getting. So in his thoughts of quietness as he sits, he sees himself falling into your arms. Then, fantasy. You, look at this. You are a wild woman. You are a wild woman, and you got the fantasy look. You got the fantasy feel. I mean, you truly turn this man on. I mean, he knows he wants this kind of a woman. I mean, one that just makes him feel like no other man. No, he doesn't. He thinks that when he's with you, no other man feels this type of just pure release. Pure release. That's what I'm seeing. I mean, you make him feel so free. Messages. Although all the ups and downs and misunderstandings that we've had, I'm still drawn to the truly pure goodness that is buried deep within your eyes. You know, so you're someone who really has the full package. I mean, you are this strong-minded, vivacious woman. And then deep inside, you have this pure goodness that he sees, and he really sits and he thinks about how you're just the best of both worlds. You know, you've got that wild side and that side that calls him out, but you've also got that side that gives him such a sense of relief. The second card, when my mind wanders, it always leads to you running into my arms. Oh my God, I just literally, I just said that. I just said that with the fantasy card. His fantasy is he just sees himself falling into your arms, but he also, it's the same thing. When my mind wanders, it always leads to you running into my arms. So there's something about this sense of ease that you give him. You give him this freedom and this just, when you guys are together, the complete quietness of just being so comfortable and the love that he's imagining as you're squeezing his body and he's falling into you. So romantic. So romantic. I can't believe I said that, and then there is his personal message. So beautiful. Okay, so now we're going to look at the tarot tokens or the zodiac signs. And let's see the zodiac signs that want to come forward here. One more. Sagittarius, Pisces, and we also have the fish. Okay, so Pisces or a water sign might be significant in this reading. Aries, Aquarius, and Libra. Also we have the charm. Look. What I'm reading from this charm is that you two, whenever you would come together, you would touch noses and you would touch foreheads. And your foreheads and your noses would touch each other, and then you'd attempt to look at each other in the eye. Of course, you would be so close. Your eyes would like cross. I mean, I don't know if that's like a joke that you guys have where you're just like forehead to forehead and you try to look in each other's eyes. Or maybe it's just a romantic notion, but that's what I'm getting from the other charm. And lastly, let's go to the letters. These can be good initials, or they can also sometimes spell out something, okay? So we have, I'm not taking this as an M, M, N, Q, X, L, and C. M, N, Q, X, L, and C. Okay, this is not spelling this at all, but I'm getting a message from the divine feminine that this love is bigger than you ever imagined. You came into this relationship and I think it started off quick and you felt like, oh my gosh, like this relationship is just going so fast. And not only that, I am falling for you so quickly that I never imagined that I would. From the divine masculine, what I'm feeling from these letters, that you guys have been going down two roads for a long time, two separate roads. You guys are very different. A lot of ways similar, but there's a lot of defining elements about you guys that you're very different. And what I'm reading or feeling is that he wants to take these two roads or these two parallel lines and he wants for both of you to get in one lane and go. To stay in the lane and just go with it together. That's what I'm feeling from this message. Please know that the takeaway is the falling into each other's arms. It was confirmed twice, and there's something very significant about that is, I think, in the masculine's thought process. It's in your thought process. And not only that, it's being worked on through the universe in order for you two to come back into alignment. That single point or message of everything that needs to happen can happen once you fall into each other's arms. Thank you. This was beautiful, very, very moving, and I hope that it resonated. Thank you for spending time with me. I so enjoyed it. Thank you.